Hi, Jack from tofluency.com here. On this channel, I have made many lessons on the present perfect. I've talked about the difference between the present perfect simple and continuous, the difference between for and since, how to use the present perfect in the negative, how to use it with just, and other videos too that I can't remember right now. One question that keeps popping up, one question that people keep asking me is, what is the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? And what's key here is I see many mistakes made in this area. And the first thing to know is it's not an easy subject. It's not an easy subject to tackle. But my job in this video is to give you a better understanding of when to use the present perfect and when to use the past simple. We're going to look at lots of examples to help you really understand this difference. And I'm going to test your knowledge throughout this video. So let's get into it. The best way to start is with a couple of examples. The first one is this. I've been to Madrid 4 times. I've been to Madrid 4 times. So this is, what is it? The present perfect. It's the present perfect tense. The second example is obviously in the simple past, and it's this. In 2006, I went to Madrid with some friends. In 2006, I went to Madrid with some friends. Let's start with the simple past because most people find this easier to use. That example again, in 2006, I went to Madrid with some friends. Now, we use the simple past for completed actions in the past. And this is obvious that this action isn't continuing now. This action is over. We're not in Madrid anymore. We went to Madrid and we came home. And you can see the time expression used here is in 2006, and we'll talk more about time expressions soon. But know at this stage that we use the past simple when we're talking about completed actions in the past. Let's go over the present perfect example now. I've been to Madrid 4 times. I've been to Madrid 4 times. Now, what I'm actually saying is this. I've been to Madrid 4 times in my life. And, luckily, I'm still alive. Therefore, the action has not finished yet. This is not a completed action. I might go in the future. I might not. But the possibility is there. And that's why we're using the present perfect here. I've been to Madrid 4 times. Now pay attention to the next 2 examples because they'll help you understand this difference a little bit more. Okay, the first one is this. My grandma never went to Madrid. My grandma never went to Madrid. This is in the simple past, the past simple past or past simple. And the reason I'm using it in this tense is because that action is over. My grandma is not alive. She died a long time ago. Therefore, while she was alive, she never went to Madrid. And that's why we use it in the simple past. Paul, on the other hand, has never been to Madrid. Now, Paul is a friend of mine who is still alive, but he's never been to Madrid. I think it's because he burns really easily. But the important thing to know is that he could still go in the future. That possibility is there for him. That action of going to Madrid or not going to Madrid isn't over now. Hopefully those examples have helped you understand this difference, but I'm going to introduce something now that is really useful. We use past time expressions with the past simple and present time expressions with the present perfect, generally speaking. You might be thinking, what is a time expression? Well, here are some examples of past time expressions. Yesterday, last week, on Monday, 2 hours ago, in 2002. And a great rule to remember is that with past time expressions, we use the simple past. Here are some examples. I told her last week. I told her last week. She went to London in 2011. She went to London in 2011. He called me 2 hours ago. He called me 2 hours ago. All of these examples have past time expressions and they're used in the simple past. So you can't use a past time expression with the present perfect. You can't say, I have told her last week. But look at what you can do to change these sentences into the present perfect. The first one, I told her last week, can be changed to, I've told her a few times this week. Obviously, these are two different sentences meaning two different things, but you'll notice how the time expression changes according to the tense. When we use last week, it's a simple past. When we use this week, it's the present perfect. She went to London in 2011. An example of using the present perfect to talk about something similar. She's been to London 4 times in total. She's been to London 4 times in total. And finally, he called me 2 hours ago. You can say, he's called me twice today. Today is a present time expression in most cases. He's called me twice today. He called me 2 hours ago. So, quite a lot so far in this lesson. This is a great time to give you a little bit of a test. Okay, so what I want you to do is to fill in the blanks. To fill in the blanks. He, something, it, 4 times this year. She, something, it, 4 times this year. Use the verb to do. She's done it 4 times this year. She's done it 4 times this year. Okay, because this year is a present time expression. It hasn't finished yet. Therefore, we use the present perfect. And the last one. I something Sarah 2 minutes ago. I something Sarah 2 minutes ago. Use the verb to see. I saw Sarah 2 minutes ago. I saw Sarah 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago is a past time expression, therefore past simple. Now, time expressions like 2 hours ago, yesterday, this year, they're quite simple to use and they tell you which tense you need to use. However, there are some where it isn't as obvious. So tell me which one of these is correct. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. Or, I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning. Which one is correct? The answer is both. But it depends at which time you say these sentences. For example, let's say that it is 11 a.m. What you can say is this. I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning. I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning. Because it's still the morning. The morning hasn't finished yet. Therefore, we use the present perfect. But at 2 p.m, what you can say is this. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. Because this morning is now over. It's now the afternoon. And that action of drinking coffee in the morning is finished. Let's now talk about the present perfect and the past simple with some more advanced usage, but also in terms of how strict the rules are. Look at these 2 examples. Did you have breakfast yet? Did you have breakfast yet? The second one is, have you had breakfast yet? Have you had breakfast yet? In British English, the first one, using the simple past, sounds strange. It sounds strange to British ears. But you hear people in America use this all the time. In America, you'll hear both. You'll hear people say, did you have breakfast yet? Or have you had breakfast yet? But in the UK, we're a little stricter with the present perfect. And you won't hear people say the first one. You'll only hear people say the present perfect for this example. Here's another difference with British and American English. You'll hear people in America say, I just saw him. I just saw him. In British English, you'll hear people say, I've just seen him. I've just seen him. Both are used to talk about an action that finished in the very recent past. I just saw him. I've just seen him. But Again, this is just a difference between British and American English. We have covered a lot in this lesson, and I hope you found it useful. Here are 3 things that I recommend you do now. The first one is this. If anything was unclear, or if you're at the stage where you're feeling a little confused, then go back and watch this lesson, because watching it a second time will help you understand these differences. The second thing I want you to do is to leave some examples of the simple past and the present perfect in the comment section. This will help you practice, but it's also going to help other learners too, because they'll see other examples, and examples are the best way for you to understand this difference. I'll go and correct any mistakes that I see as much as I can. And finally, watch the lesson, which will be on your screen in a second, that goes through the difference between the present perfect simple and continuous, because this will give you a greater understanding of how to use a present perfect, and that is where most mistakes come from. So click that video now, go ahead and watch it, or if you prefer, watch my latest video, which is on your screen too. If you are new here, please subscribe and get notifications. Thank you so much for watching.